Hi, it's Jen. I want to welcome any new subscribers that we have on this channel, and I want to thank you for the subscribers that I do have for coming back and watching. So today I want to share with you a little project, one of them that I've been working on lately, and we'll get to that in a moment, but I thought I'd first share with you and give you a heads up on a product that I had bought. Now, if you live in Canada, we have a store called the Dollarama, and I got this paper pad from there this past weekend, and I wanted to let you guys know that it's there. And you get 60 sheets of Kraft paper, and it was $4, just so you're aware. And I'm just going to share with you, and it's such a nice thickness. So you get a white, you get the Kraft, of course, and then you get a black. So I thought this paper would be perfect for making tags and doing whatever in our journals. And it's such beautiful paper, and the cost I think is great. So I wanted to make you guys aware of it. So if you don't have it yet, to run out and get it, because $4 for 60 pieces of Kraft paper, I thought is a great deal because of the thickness. It's just amazing. Because if you're always on the fence if you should buy pre-made tags, this I think would be a better deal for you. So there's that. And I also bought something fun at a thrift store that I was going to share with you. And I'm not going to be able to get it all in the frame, but I'll just kind of put it up and down. Now what it is, it's just a little curio shelf, whatever. But I got it at a thrift store, and it was $3. And I had walked by it, and there's 9 little cubbies. And I walked by it, and I thought, well, that's kind of neat. And then I thought, I need more storage for my craft desk. So I haven't even dusted it or anything yet. I want to dust it and orange glow it and get this to work, because I thought it would be so great to organize different papers and whatnot in here, or I could organize my ink. So I thought that was a really cool thing that I found, and I was just so excited. I'm not going to get it all in there, but it's just, I'm so excited about it because I need more organization in my space. And so when I came across it for $3, you can't beat it, right? So I was so excited about that. And then what I'm going to just dive in on what we're going to be doing today. So what I'm going to share with you is how I make my yo-yos for my junk journals. So I'm just going to get a bunch out here, so that way while we talk I can share with you this grouping that I have made. I have 3 different sizes that I have done. This is a 2-inch. It started out as a 2-inch circle. This is a 2.5-inch circle. This is a 2-inch. And then I'm going to have a 1.5-inch. So that's the what the circle started out at, the size that they started out as. And I'm just going to get these all out here, and then we can begin. Alright. And I like doing these when I put it beside my chair, and then in the evening I do a few. Now my hands, I think I must have arthritis or something in it, because I can't do, because I know I have carpal tunnel, but I can't do too many repetition with my hands, because then my hands start getting sore. So beside my chair I do put a few different projects beside me, because I can't stick to one thing for too long without my hands being affected. But I absolutely love doing these yo-yos, and next few days I'm going to share with you how I use them in my junk journal, and just to give you a few ideas. But today we're going to concentrate on making them. So what we have is, we have a 2.5-inch circle, we have a 2-inch circle, and then we have a 1.5-inch circle. Now you can make these a lot bigger if you like, but I find that these 3 sizes are perfect for junk journals. The bigger ones are really nice as well, but I normally stick to these ones. I do have bigger ones that I can show you at another time, but these are my 3 main, these are my favorite, I guess I would say, of sizes that I like to use for my junk journal. So the first thing I'm going to start with is my container that I stick beside my chair, and I keep 3 things in that container. So I have this little wooden box that I got from a yard sale a while ago, and I put I'm going to just stick these up on the corner here. I put all of my thread that I like to use. I put a pair of scissors. And of course, I put my material that I'm going to be making into yo-yos. Now, the thread. For me, the thread doesn't matter. Because these are going into junk journals, what I have been doing over the past few years or more, when I go to the thrift store, I've been collecting bags of thread. And usually they sell them for $1 to $2 for a bag of spools of thread, and for me that is a lot cheaper than buying each spool individually at a store. And so that's why when I'm at a thrift store, I pick them up, and I was gifted this jar, and so now I have this jar full of thread, and then when I need some thread to match something for a junk journal, I go into here and I just pick from whatever thread I have. So I do keep that handy in my craft space, because to be honest with you, when you do hand sewing, it doesn't really matter what kind of thread you're using. So these are the 3 different threads that I am using currently for the different materials that I am using. And the different materials that I'm using this is eyelet lace. This is just a cotton. Again, a cotton. All of these are cotton basically. And then I just figure out what kind of patterns or solids I wanted. Now this solid cotton, it is tea dyed. And each one has a different variant. A lot of them will not show a lot of tea dyeing, but some of them show a lot. So I think that's what's so great about tea dyeing your cottons, because there's some places that take it more than others. And I find it just gives whatever you work with it just gives it interest. So when I get my cottons that I choose, I try to match my threads to my cottons. Now, I'm not a big stickler about this, just because it's a junk journal, and although we want to make them cute and nice, it doesn't have to match perfectly. Now, if we get this blue out, I didn't really have any blue that matched this perfectly, and that's okay with me. So I just took this blue, and I think it looks perfectly fine. Because I didn't really want to use white, because it would just show too much, and I wanted these stripes to be the star. And you can totally contrast it by using a black thread if that's what you like to see. So I don't worry if it doesn't match perfectly. I do my best, and if you want it to match perfectly, you may have to buy more spools, but it's just whatever you enjoy seeing in your junk journal. Now, I will share with you one right here, this blue, and you will see that the thread doesn't show too much. I mean, you can see that tell that it's there, but I think it looks perfectly fine. It doesn't bother me at all. So the threads, you'll need thread, and I suggest to purchase it from thrift stores, because it's a good bang for your buck. Now, this right here I got at a thrift store. This, I absolutely love working hand sewing with this. This is Coats All Purpose Dual Duty Plus and there's 500 yards in here. And I try to find it online and I can't, but this stuff is amazing. And after I finish this, I'm searching right now, I want to try to find some more of this stuff because it's amazing, guys. It's really good. I've really enjoyed using this. So, and then this one, this pink one, I don't even know what kind it is, but this has been a pleasure to work with as well. So you'll need threads to match whatever material you're using. So I just keep them all in here in my box. And then you just need a pair of scissors. And then you'll need to cut some circles. Now, I gave you the measurements already, and how I cut my circles is by using a Sizzix die. It says Sizzix Circles number 2. I got this at a craft sale in 2019. And I knew I wanted to be making yo-yos, so I had purchased this used at a yard sale. So if you don't have one of these just yet, keep your eye out. If you're interested in making yo-yos, keep your eyes open. Maybe even go on eBay. Might have some. But yeah, this has been really helpful for me to quickly cut out circles, because I think it would be daunting if you have to cut out each one, but it's doable, right? So I thought I would just share you quickly how I cut my material and then cut it. So what I do is I just cut a strip of fabric, and then all I do is I lay it on there. And right now it's not going to look like I'm more precise if I'm going to be cutting, right? Because I don't want to cut too much of my material. And then all I do, I don't cut each piece. I just go back and forth like this. So that's 3 right there. And then you just keep on going back and forth, back and forth. And I did 10 at one time. And I could tell that my that was enough that I could use for my die, this specific die. And this worked out perfect for me. It didn't take too long. I just ripped a piece of fabric and then I just put it on like this, and it cut out my circles perfectly. And then what I'm doing right now, what I've decided to do is just to go and do 5 to 6 different colors at a time, and then once this is all sewed up, I'm going to move on to 5 other colors, just so that way I have a variety. And I've started a jar of putting all my yo-yos, so that way I have a lot to choose from, and that way if I want something a little bit different, I have something already there ready to go. So this is, I do use the die for my circles, but if you don't have a die and you don't have to go out and buy one, just use a top of a drinking glass or jars or lids. Whatever you have around the house will work as well. So I put that beside my chair, as well as I do put my pincushion container right beside my chair as well. And that way I have my favorite needle always by me while I'm doing my yo-yos. And I know it's probably kind of silly talking about a needle, but ever since I started using this needle, that's the only needle I really use for hand and board, like for doing hand sewing for most of the things with thread. And what it is a milliner's needle. Now, this brand is Clover, and I got the Gold Eye Milliner's needle. Now, what that kind of needle is, this is just a typical needle, and I don't know if you can see. I'll put that. Now, a typical needle is your eye is it's wider than the shaft of your needle. And so it tapers down, so it's wide, and then it tapers down. Well, what a milliner's needle is the eye of the needle is the same width as the shaft of your needle. And so this whole thing is the same size. And so that way, when you're sewing, you don't create a bigger hole when you push through the eye of the needle. And I'm coming to find that I like that a lot better when I'm doing hand sewing. And so this is my favorite needle that I use when I do my yo-yos. I do use a size 7 millimeters needle. So it's a size 7 that I like to use. And these I do, my extra needles I keep inside of here just in case I lose my needle. But what I like to do with my needle is to keep 1/4 of this cushion free, so my working needles, I know exactly where it is and I don't have to guess which one, because I do have different needles on here for different things. And so I have this one labeled with a crochet thread, flower, and then these are my, oh, what are those called? I'm not going to be able to remember it now. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. But these needles I have for specific uses. Darning needles. I have different size darning needles. And then these are just straightforward sewing pins. There's nothing special about them at all. And then this one is a Chanel pin that I use with my crochet thread projects. If I want to darn it in, I use this one. So I like to have my pin cushion organized so that way I can just pick it out and get right to work. So I keep that by my chair as well. So I thought I would make one of my yo-yos with you today, and I'm going to use contrasting thread with my material. I'm going to do a pink one today with you, and I'm going to use just black thread. This thread I got from the thrift store as well. It was in a bag, and I use this in my sewing machine a lot for sewing in my journals. So I cut off a piece already. I'm going to get my... So I'll share with you how I do mine, and then you can for sure... Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. I'm going to see if I can thread this. Okay. But you know what's so funny though? Before I turn on the camera, I try to make sure I'll be able to thread it right. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. It's fine. No, I can't. Okay. Alright, and there we go. So I just took a piece of thread and I put it on there, and now I'm gonna have the two ends meet, because I want, when I do my yo-yos, I want a double thickness of thread just to make sure it's gonna hold strong. Now I'm gonna do what's called a quilter's knot. So what you do is you take your end of your threads and you're going to put it in your more dominant hand. So I'm going to put it on my pointer finger of my dominant hand. So if you're left, you would obviously use your left hand and do this. And then you would just put your needle on top of the thread. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around the needle. Now I do it 5 times. I wrap it around 5 times because I find that 3 is not enough, and it was always popping out of my fabric, and I just don't want the headache. So I wrap it around 5 times, and I haven't had a problem. Then what you do is you take your non-dominant hand, and then you're going to grab everything, hold everything like this. And you are going to want to switch hands because I find that it doesn't work if you try to keep it in your dominant hand. So you grab everything with your less dominant hand in between the pointer finger and your thumb, and what you're going to do is you're going to push your needle through, and then you'll have yourself a knot, and they call that a quilter's knot. Alright, and so I got my quilter's knot on my needle, and then what I'm going to do is get all this fluff off. And then you want to be careful of how far down you go. I was going to share with you, when you start sewing on your fabric, if you like this look, then by all means, you have to do what you find is beautiful and what you love. Now, for me personally, I like this one. Now, I did this one just for an example. Now, what the difference is between the two of them is one of them, I started closer to the edge of my fabric. I don't have a specific measurement. All of mine are each different, but I don't start too far down from the edge. So what you normally would do when you make a yo-yo, you would take the edge of your yo-yo, the piece of material, and you would turn it down just a little bit, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, it just depending how much you want to turn it down. And you would do that all the way around your circle, and then you would have a finished edge. Now, I don't like to do that because, number one, it's for a junk journal. It doesn't bother me having an unfinished edge, and I like having all the roughness of the material, it being frayed right here. So I don't turn down my edges because I want it to be frayed, and when you do it this way, it lays a lot flatter than if you turn down your edges. Now, it will not lay as flat either if you go, this is exaggerated, but if you go down right here and start your yo-yo, that's what I did here, and it just all bunches up and it doesn't lay really nice like this one. So I'm going to do it here with you today. It will take some time, but that's all we're going to be doing today, and then the next few videos I'm going to share with you how I use them. Alright, and so I'm going to go close to the edge. And now, what a beautiful thing this is. It doesn't have to be perfect. Number one, obviously, because it's for a junk journal, but you're not going to be able to tell if your stitches aren't perfect once you have it all gathered. And so don't worry about if you don't typically do hand sewing. It's not going to matter at all, in none in the least. So what we're going to do is, first you're going to do what we call a running stitch. And so you're going to go down into your fabric, and then there, our knot is right there. And then we're going to come up. Now, my upstrokes, I always do it a little bit closer to the stitch that I just put in. And then when I go down, I do have a wider of a stitch. I just found that when I was making these, I found that the up stroke in the running stitch, you go up and then you go down. That's just a running stitch, just up and then down. I just found that I liked the way my yo-yo looked a lot better when I had shorter, in the upstrokes, it was shorter. Now, you're going to find that, see, this is not perfect at all. And you know what? It's going to be fine. And to be honest with you, as I was preparing to do this, I was thinking that I'm going to use a contrasting thread so that way you can see what I'm doing. But then I thought that would actually look really cool in junk journals. So even if you only have 3 threads, because 3 to 4 threads, just because in a little sewing kit that you make, that's what you usually have, you can just use what you have, and it doesn't have to match, because junk journal, number 1, and number 2, it will look just as beautiful if it's not matching. So I thought black and pink would look really good together, honestly. So I have been working on different projects here and there. I didn't realize that I haven't done a video in a month. I didn't realize it was that long. Time flies, eh? I hope everybody is doing well. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to quickly finish sewing the rest of this, and then I'll share with you how I finish mine off. Now, if I can't figure out how to fast forward. I know I've done it once before, but I tried doing it, I think in my last video, and I couldn't figure out what I did, how to fast forward. So if I can't figure it out, you might have to fast forward it yourself right now. I do apologize, but I have been doing some projects. I've been doing a lot of hand sewing, and I do have a giveaway, so at the end of the video I will be talking to you more about that giveaway. So if you are not interested in how I do my finishing of this yo-yo, if you want to run over to the end of the video, I will be talking about my giveaway there. So, but I have a small giveaway for my seen subscribers. And I'm almost done. It doesn't take too long. Now, I've seen where people, they don't care about the size of their sewing lines, and they just go for it, and they do really big strokes, and they look just as good as well. Okay. And there we go. Now, I do my yo-yos in two different ways, but this is my favorite way to do my yo-yos because it works out really well. Alright, so what I do, you can for sure just leave your quilter's knot there. It would hold your fabric. See, I'm going to bunch mine up. And so when you do this, you just pull it and it will gather it all by itself. And look at that. I used black and you can't even see it anyway. Isn't that neat? You can just do this. But what I do, and the reason why I do this, and the quilter knot does work and it does hold it, but my reasoning to do this part, what I'm doing now, is because now I take the end where the quilter knot is and then I pull that up as well. And I like to do that simply because it finishes it nicer. It finishes that side off nicer than it would if you just pull the one side, I find. Now, this is with pulling two ends, and I just find it makes everything lie better, and yeah, like I like it a lot better. So you take the end where you already made your knot and you just bring it up. You keep on pulling until you like the way it looks. Now, I don't know, you may like a bigger hole right here, or you may like it smaller, like this one seems small. That is totally up to you how you like it. You may want it more open, but this is my favorite way of doing a yo-yo. And then what I do, I don't cut the end that I did with the running stitch. What I do is now I'm going to tie a knot to finish this off on the inside. And the reason why I do that, again, is because I find that it lays so much nicer than if I didn't. Now, I'm going to do that 2 or 3 times. I usually do it 3 times. You can't even see your black thread. I mean, if you pull it apart, I'm sure you'll be able to find it, but now, and that is the reason why I know it seems unproductive because I already put a quilter's knot in there. But the reason why I put a quilter's knot in there is when I'm doing my running stitch so it doesn't pull through, because that has happened to me, and it just takes a second to do a quick knot at the end of your thread, and then you can carry on. Now at the end, I just made a knot 2 or 3 times, and then I'm just going to take some scissors and cut that end off. I usually don't worry about if I get it too close or not. And then what you do is you take your needle and your thread. I always finish on the inside of the fabric. And then what I do is I'm going to find out where the end is. And then I'm going to stick the needle out. I'm going to go inside the yo-yo. And then what I'm going to do is, there's all these pleats. I'm going to stick my needle on the valley. So here's a valley of a peak, and then here's a peak of the fold there. I'm just going to bring it out. And then what I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see that, and then I'm just going to stick, here's a gather. So I'm going to stick my needle in this gathering spot right here. Leave that loop. And then I'm going to finish it with a knot. I forget what this is called, but I'll write it on the screen. It's always when I'm doing videos, I forget things. And then there you go. And I do finish it so it's on the outside because I like that look. Because again, I'm doing a junk journal. I don't want everything to be so perfect. And then I do have a piece of thread, and there you go. And I just think that, can't even tell that I'm using black thread really. And there you go. There is our yo-yo. So that's my favorite way how I make a yo-yo. And as you make these, you'll find ways that you like them as well. And so I just challenge you to get out your material, because, you know, as junk journalers, we gather material, and this is just another way that we can use the things that we have in our home to beautify our junk journals. So, again, your yo-yos, I started off with a 2.5 inch circle, a 2 inch circle, and then a 1.5 inch circle. And then they make these beautiful yo-yos. So that is something small that I wanted to share with you today. I hope I explained myself properly. All right, and now to the giveaway. What I'm giving away right now is just a small giveaway, but I wanted to make some yo-yos for you to try and use them in your journals. So I'm going to give away 15 yo-yos. You're going to have 5 of the 2.5, 5 of 2 inch, and 5 of the 1.5 inch. And so if you would like to receive 15 yo-yos in the mail, you can comment down below what is your favorite thing right now to decorate a junk journal. Just one thing, or maybe you have more than one. Just let us know what your favorite thing to use right now to decorate a journal. Maybe it's ribbons, maybe it's laces, maybe it's yo-yos, maybe it's crochet things. But just let us know down below, because I thought that'd be kind of neat to give everybody some ideas. And then like the video, and then you need to be a Scene subscriber. Okay? And so I just wanted to let you know. And Karen Phrase, if you're watching, I am sending you, sent you these things in your box. So if you want to comment down below, we would love to hear what you like to use, but you're not going to be put into the draw just because I made some specially for you, okay? So I just wanted to let you know that. And everybody, thank you so much for watching. I am going to leave this contest open till Friday, this Friday, and I will put the dates on the screen, and then I will share with you on Sunday who had won. Well, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And let's not forget, let's not throw away our junk. Let's journal with it. Take care, guys.